Now, Bloomberg, there's an audio that surfaced yesterday, so we're going to play it, and we're going to talk about it because we're here. It's the Karen Hunter Show. We're going to have these conversations.
Yeah.
In depth. Play it. It's and let me just tell you, wait, before you play, it's a horrible audio. So it's sort of like the Malcolm X audio on Who Killed Malcolm, because Malcolm literally taped the FBI coming into his house.
Yeah.
It's much better quality than this tape. So I'm wondering, was it like a cell phone? And this was back when they didn't have technology.
Right.
Malcolm in the 60s recorded the FBI in his house. Much better quality than this. So I'm wondering how they recorded him, because it had to be like a secret recording. So did they have it in their pants or something? All right, play it.
95% of your murderers and murder victims fit one MO. You can just take the description, Xerox it, and pass it out to all the cops. They are male, minorities, 15 to 25. That's true in New York. It's true in virtually every city. And that's where the real crime is. You've got to get the guns out of the hands of the people that get killed. So you want to spend the money, put a lot of cops in the street, put those cops where the crime is, which means in minority neighborhoods. So it's one of the unintended consequences is people say, oh my God, you are arresting kids for marijuana that are all minorities. Yes, that's true. Why? Because we put all the cops in the minority neighborhoods. Yes, that's true. Why we do it? Because that's where all the crime is. And the way you get the guns out of the kids' hands is to throw them against the wall and frisk them. And then they say, oh, I don't want that. I don't want to get caught, so they don't bring the gun. They still have a gun, but they leave it at home.
Okay. When was this from? This was
2015 at the Aspen Ideas
from,
Festival.
I know the prepreposition is at the end. All right, y'all. Before the preposition, kiss my ass with the grammar lesson. All right, I'm talking to myself right now. 2015. All right. Now, since running, I think Bloomberg apologized.
Yeah.
Do we accept his apology? Huh? Go ahead, play his apology.
Over time, I've come to understand something that I long struggled to admit to myself. I got something important wrong. I got something important really wrong. I didn't understand that back then, the full impact that stops were having on the Black and Latino communities. I was totally focused on saving lives, but as we know, good intentions aren't good enough. I now see that we could and should have acted sooner and acted faster to cut the stops. I wish we had. I'm sorry that we didn't. But I can't change history. However, today, I want you to know that I realized back then I was wrong. And I'm sorry.
Oh, that's a real apology.
Yeah.
I'm making a juxtaposition because Snoop didn't apologize. But anyway, 866-801-8255, and I'm a little bit petty. All right, so in 2015, before the Aspen Institute, Bloomberg was recorded as saying, you know, we have to put a lot of cops in minority neighborhoods because that's where all of the crime is, and we have to, this was the crazy part. You just take the description of a young male minority, Xerox it, and pass it out to all of the cops. So he just like blanket everyone because they're more likely to commit the crimes and put a lot of cops where the crime is, which means in minority neighborhoods. And just by doing that, that method, which started under Giuliani, which he continued with the Comstats and Ray Kelly, put a lot of black lives in harm, created a lot of trauma. There were more black boys, in particular black men, stopped and frisked than actually existed in the city of New York. And there's a lot of black people in New York. Yeah. It's the largest black city in America. And yeah, it was painful. Does the apology cover it? I mean, I think he was sincere in his apology for a number of reasons. Yes, he's running for president. Right. He needs the black vote to win. But I think that, just like his Greenwood initiative that he put out after he found out about Tulsa last year, which is baffling to me that you can live in a country and not know. But I had a meeting today with a person who's not black. And we were talking about loans and this and that. We were going over my finances. And I said, I had this loan. It's a subprime loan, even though I had great credit, a great job and everything. She was like, why? I said, because the banks were predatory towards black people. And I said, you hadn't heard of that? No. So then we went through another thing. I said, I had another loan too. And I could see her catch her breath like, Just because you're black, you got a bad law? I said, yes.
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing we're not in the streets burning stuff down? Like, isn't it amazing that we're relatively well-adjusted considering all of the obstacles? And I said, if I didn't have anything to compare it to, I wouldn't know that this was targeting. And if the Wells Fargo thing and the housing bubble hadn't happened, we wouldn't have known that there was a willful targeting of black people. But what did that do? That impacted the wealth of black people for centuries, probably. That created a wealth gap that's going to take 200 plus years to close because financial institutions willfully came after black people and gave them bad loans. I said, I had a piggyback loan on a house that I shouldn't have had a piggyback loan on.
Right.
And I talked to a bunch of my black friends, and they all had piggybacks.
They all had them, yeah.
Why?
And it wasn't because of their socioeconomic status. It wasn't any of those things. It was because this is a black borrower and we can get away with it. The only sort of delta is sometimes that they won't know the difference.
And I didn't know.
Yeah.
Because I was told this is the way we're going to get it done. And this. Yeah. So you look at it and at the point you're like, oh, that interest rate's not so bad, even though the national rate is, that's why we have to be informed. That's why I go so hard in the paint. So my question is, number one, people running for president, they're going to need the black vote to win on the Democratic side. And Trump is baffled by why he doesn't have more black supporters because you're racist, sir. Listen, it doesn't matter how many programs you do, how many black people you let out of jail, if you legalize marijuana. At your core, you hate black people. And I think if you had the opportunity to get rid of all black people, and I'm talking about Mexicans, anybody with any melanin, anybody from any country that speaks any language other than English, I think you would wave a wand and get rid of us. That's my personal opinion. Yeah. I don't think you have any respect for anybody. I think you don't think black people are smart. As a matter of fact, you've been caught on tape saying black people aren't smart. You've been caught on tape saying that. I've had an interview with Randall Pinkett, the only black to ever win the regular apprentice, and he said you're a racist. So I'm going to believe that a person that worked under you and spent time with you would know, not Ben Carson.
Yeah.
So that's why you don't have more black support. Look in the mirror. You're a racist. Fix yourself. Bloomberg, can he be worked with? That's my only question, right?
Right.
Because I'm thinking none of these people have a great track record with black people. We can go into Joe Biden.
Yeah.
We can sit here and talk about,
talk about Anita Hill. We can talk about crime
Clarence
bill.
Thomas.
We can talk about Clarence Thomas. The whole 9 yards.
But let's talk about the crime bill because, and here's what I'm nervous about. I remember Hillary Clinton, when she was running in 2016, the whole crime bill thing came out and the super predator thing came out, right? Predator. And I was like... And it became a drumbeat in the black community. Oh, super predator. I remember she was at some rally and black people stood up and started yelling super predator. And I'm like, that crime bill, though, was supported by the Congressional Black Caucus.
I say that every time I say that to anybody under the age of 30, they look at me like I am crazy. And I say to them, all of your faves in the Congressional Black Caucus supported the 1994 crime bill. I was like, and if you weren't alive in the crack cocaine era, then you don't know how many black church leaders, community leaders were saying, we need more police in the neighborhood. Hindsight is 2020, but all of your faves in the Congressional Black Caucus, maybe with the exception of what maybe Charlie Rangel and
Charlie
Jesse
Rangel
Jackson.
was among the 11 Congressional Black Caucus members who vote. Oh, yeah, he did vote against the crime bill. Charlie Rangel was one of the few, but Charlie Rangel was heard on tape with Richard Nixon urging him to be more aggressive on the war on drugs. Yeah. So it's a complicated thing.
It's complicated.
If you are the community upon which the first of all, they flood your neighborhood with drugs, and then you're a regular person going to work every day, and everybody in your neighborhood is a crackhead, you want some relief from that. Yeah. I don't want to drive by. I'm trying to go to work. Which most people in our community are just hardworking people who just want to go back and forth. And now we got this influx of drugs.
Right.
And then what comes with the drug culture. Yeah, they went to Congress, and then Congress went to the president at the time, who was Clinton.
Yeah.
And he passed the crime bill. Even the welfare reform was supported by, anyway. But, we need to have, nuanced, deeper conversations. I think Kwasi Mfume, who just won the seat, the preliminary seat for Elijah Cummings, he was a chairman of the Congressional Black Caucus at the time, supported the crime bill and rallied other members of the CBC to vote for it. So there we go. But let's have a real conversation.
Right.
And what I was saying about Hillary Clinton, that super predator thing hurt her.
Yeah. Oh, it killed her.
With
young black voters.
As did Kamala Harris's prosecutorial record.
Yep.
She locked up black men. I'm seeing a pattern here. I'm not sure exactly who's putting it out.
Oh,
but
you
I think it's very effective because it hits at a pain point for black people.
Yeah.
And it's an easy one for us to lean into.
Yeah.
And I get it. I'm not absolving Mike Bloomberg of anything, but I'm asking the question, would he be a better ally? Can we make him a better ally? Because it's all strategy at this point. We can't unfrisk and unstop.
Yeah.